got baptized in the Jordan River itself. So but that, I didn't feel proud to be Asian. Turns out I'm 100% Chinese. Quite proud to be Asian, actually. Hit me hard questions.
Okay, I will.
Like that.
Give you the hard-hitting question.
That kind of question. Like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll build up to that. We'll build up to
that.
that because as you know, with anal, you need prep.
Damn. Okay.
Welcome to the D word. My next guest is composer, producer, and an artiste. Please welcome my high school friend, Benjamin Sim. Yay!
Hi, yeah. Good to be here.
Thank you for being on the show.
Well, I'm Benjamin Sim. I live in Singapore for the last 30 years. Yeah. Did a few years in London for a while. My race, Chinese. I actually did a DNA test, so I'm quite certain about this.
What's in the DNA test?
I was actually really excited to see if I was not 100% Chinese, because my grandmother, she was adopted, so no one knows where she's from. So I did a DNA test, so turns out I'm 100% Chinese. Like 99.8% Chinese.
What else did you think you were, Ben?
Something exotic, maybe like Central Asian, something Vietnamese even, like Thai. I don't know, but there's nothing wrong with being 100% Chinese, I feel.
Yeah.
It is the most common race. The most common racial profile in the world is a Chinese, 100% Chinese male.
100% Chinese male.
Yeah. I like to say that I'm kind of proud to be Chinese, actually. It's a weird one, but it's not in a racial superiority way, but it's just I'm quite proud to be Asian, actually.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but for a long time, there was a part of my life where I felt like I didn't feel proud to be Asian, but now, I don't know, things have changed. When I just got out of high school, when I first moved to London, I felt I had this white fever. This fetishism with I think not so much
you bought into the whole white supremacy.
I think it's just
you're internalized colonialist.
I romanticized European culture. And I thought European culture was the pinnacle of whatever it was to be,
civilized.
Yeah, I don't know whether this was a part to play with from my education, in Singaporean education or in an international school education. But yeah, I just feel like I was very whitewashed when I was growing up. So I almost romanticized that too much. So when I was in high school, just 13, 14, 15, that age range, I was like, I wish I was born in Europe or something like that. I wish I was born in America or something, a Western country. And is it weird for me to say this, but I wish I was white privilege, which was maybe distilled by American media. But yeah, it was strange. Now, when I look back at that time, I'm not sure whether I really even fully understood myself, how I had that thought process, but it might have been just a very subconscious thing, but yeah. And it was only after living in London for 5 years that I realized this is a shithole. There's nothing inherently better or worse about European culture. It was just not for me after 5 years. I'm proud. Going back, I'm proud to be Asian, I'm proud to be Chinese.
With China really coming out on top in terms of geopolitics, how does that make you feel about being 100% Chinese? I mean, they're at the forefront of so many things.
I guess we're just back in our rightful place in the grand scheme of the world, because the British,
no longer being oppressed by colonial powers.
Yeah, we're no longer having that post-colonial hangover that we've had for the last 40 years after independence. I think it's about time. I think
What
Yeah.
about white privilege did you want so bad?
What about white privilege? Wow. I guess being liked, being seen as like something that was something to aspire to,
Yeah.
because
So white privilege as in unconditional
Yeah.
positive regard
yeah,
wherever you go.
exactly.
But then
exactly.
now with the rise of specifically Chinese and maybe Korean subcultures and even social media apps, influencers being part
Yeah,
of this
actually,
enlightenment.
I don't
The new
know.
enlightenment.
Yeah.
No, not, I can't call it enlightenment, the new renaissance.
I want to say that perhaps it was because the Europeans were so proud of their enlightenment movement
They got complacent.
that they was like, we're so good. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of superiority. Yeah, so in a way, I'm experiencing the same thing now that I'm seeing lots of more attention to your social, Asian content on social media, Asian focused influencers for Asian content for Asians, not Asian content for whites. Now that you see a lot of that, and even the whites are watching Asian content for Asians, it makes me feel like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm feeling what these white people were feeling like 100 years ago.
Which is
Which is like I don't know, that self-fulfilling sense of racial superiority and cultural superiority. Maybe I shouldn't say racial superiority. Let's get this straight. Like, I think race is not really a big deal for me. Like, it's the cultural aspects more that is connected to the race that is that's more important.
so in Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that Chinese male privilege exists?
Ooh. In the dating scene or in general?
Both.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it exists with a lot of potential drawbacks too. So there is privilege, but there's also downsides to being a vegetarian meal. So it's something that people may not necessarily think about. I think the media likes to sensationalize things like, Chinese privilege, certain race privilege, certain sex privilege, but there's always other sides to that coin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is one of those the sides of the Chinese privilege coin being pedestalized?
Pedestalized.
Being put on a pedestal?
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean
So
by
do you feel that other non-Chinese folk are trying to date you simply because you are Chinese?
Oh,
And so in that respect, they put you on pedestal, and you know what happens to people on pedestal? They fall.
do you remember you told me some... Okay, I don't think it is just because of the race thing, but... Sorry. Do you remember you once told me we were eating in Grand Hyatt,
Yeah,
the now
Mezzanine.
defunct Mezzanine, and
Shout
you
out
told
Mezzanine.
me, yeah, they need to come back.
Yeah, Mezzanine, we need you back.
So you told me once that you had a friend. I believe she was using Bumble, and
Yes, I think I know
she
where this is going.
was going out with different guys. Like, she knows that she looks good, but she would go out with a different guy like twice a week or something.
Almost every day.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah.
I
She'd
don't know,
get
are
them
you-
to pay
yeah,
for
and she'll
her
get them to
meals
pay for her meal.
every day.
And then she would just like ghost or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wouldn't do anything, right? She would just go and have a meal and like dip right after that, right?
Depends how loaded they are. So sometimes
Ah.
she once in a while she comes across like a like a 50-year-old or 60-year-old investment banker who's loaded and
on
divorced
Bumble. And how old is she?
and single, and she's like 23 at that time.
My
And if she senses
Jesus.
that they're loaded, she'll go for a few more dinners, try and win over their trust and their favor, and then go on a shopping spree with their credit card and just buy like thousands worth of luxury
And
goods.
does that ever amount to anything after that?
I mean, she sends the goods back home. She's given me an LV bucket hat before
Okay.
using the
Back home.
like because she's British born Pakistani.
Based in Singapore.
She was doing her PhD in Singapore.
I think I know who that might be.
Yeah, so that's how I was.
Is she from... Do I know her?
No, you don't.
She's not from a similar circle. to
No,
me.
she's completely But anyway, where were you going with that story?
Yeah, so I think it's about money. My theory
Chinese
about,
privilege is about money.
I think that my Chinese privilege, male privilege, is a money thing. It's not. I mean, okay, there is a racial thing there, but it's a money power thing. It's a money dynamic. So
It's an SES thing,
not necessarily.
social economic status.
But think about it, like, I don't mean to be, I don't mean to categorize, but when's the last time you had a high income Malay? Like, it's not common to have a high income Malay, right?
high income Malay Singaporean.
Yeah, high income Malay Singaporean, like, that is on the date, like, it's a dating scene. It's rare. It's much rarer to see that than a high income.
Yeah.
Like,
I suppose if they were high income and Malay Singaporean,
they would not be in Singapore.
they would not be on the apps because
because
their families would
I
have
guess,
tried to matchmake them since they
Exactly.
were young or something.
That's exactly how it works, because
Yeah.
in Malay society, if you're privileged, you are really privileged, and like you don't even probably need to work. They have like really long established businesses, but I am talking about the nouveau riche.
The nouveau
The
riche.
nouveau riche.
But the nouveau riche
yeah.
is very much like dominated by mainland Chinese.
Ooh, but okay, maybe
Don't you
like the
think?
nouveau riche Singaporeans, the
Which are
Chinese
who?
Chinese guys.
Which are who?
So, what I wanted to say to your original question really, is Chinese privilege is not necessarily privilege,
Okay.
because I think guys have a lot of expectations on them. I am saying this from a person that has gone out with enough females in Singapore to know. You're looking at me with the eyes, the very what's coming next.
Yeah.
No, okay,
I
so
wanna hear.
I think is it too contentious to say that Singaporean girls are
after money?
very, very entitled?
Entitled.
Yeah.
You're not the first. It's
Yeah.
not the first time I've heard.
They
this
are
being
one
said.
of the more entitled females in the international circles of women that I've met.
You think so? I feel like if that claim was about Southeast Asian women, I get it.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
really?
Southeast Asian women. Okay, let's not talk about like the daughters of rich tycoons in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
I'm talking about just like your average middle class or working class woman. I feel like their expectations are expectations that you would find in pretty much the greater part of Asia. Like, for example, they would expect their man to have the means to provide housing and maybe a car and to raise a family. I feel like that's a very basic expectation. Do you feel like Singaporean girls want more than that?
Do you think it's because of the individualistic society in the West versus the more paternalistic society in Asia that actually makes earning more for a man more important than earning more for a man in the West?
I definitely think
so?
it's related to the history of women's rights, which I feel in the West has been much more well documented, and a lot of the noise, a lot of the push towards liberation of women's rights, like in the 1960s, definitely came from places like America, where people were marching on the streets, for women's suffrage and the rights to vote. Whereas in Asia, compared to the same moment in history, like in the 1960s in Asia, a lot of countries were still talking about nation building, about building a national identity, about the post-colonial hangover. So then the priorities were not so much about women being able to vote, or women being able to be equal to men, or being able to work in the same jobs as men. So in that respect, I feel like the West is much further, they were much early, like they were quicker and faster to get to women's rights than they were in Asia. But I feel like right now, women are able to still...
It's almost like Asia skipped a step, in a way.
Yeah.
It skipped a social step.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So...
No, I think I feel that it could be women's rights things. I think so. But I think it could be a SES situation too. Like with each woman, they have their own, like people in different SESs also have different expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to generalize like all Southeast Asian women have this, but I think maybe because of the paternal, the patriarchal, sorry, not patriarchal,
very confusion, right?
Nature of Asian society.
Yeah.
A lot of there's a lot of emphasis for the guy to be able to provide, and like it's a societal thing where you're a failure if you cannot provide for your family. And in Japan, if you cannot provide, like the guy would just commit suicide, and like it's a really common thing. But like that's not in Singapore. Like we don't have that. But in South Korea and maybe Japan, especially Japan actually, like there's so much emphasis for the guy to be like the sole breadwinner, and there's actually a lot of Japanese women who are like housewives. So it's like you see the expats in Singapore and the Japanese ones. So I wonder if that is a detriment in the Chinese privileged sense that people want you, but you also have a lot of expectation
with
that comes with that. So it's not privilege, or I see, and I guess in the 60s, the financial world that we lived in the West, it was a really different financial world to now, where we're coming up with crazy inflation rates, and the world economy is actually on, like, it's treading water, like we might, it's like this war, and there's like chaos. The competitiveness to be able to find a job, people are stacking internships now, like you look at it's crazy stacking. So the work-life balance that an average worker now has compared to maybe in the 60s or 70s is, so I'm sure, like, another thought experiment is like, imagine if this work-life balance was the case in the 1960s, do you think the women's movement would have been really different? I don't know, the women's, like, I wonder if, because now it's like, as a Singaporean male, how I see, I have some bros and they're telling me, like, I'm seeing how hard they work. It's crazy, and like that's not healthy. And I guess women work just equally hard too. But I wonder if there's a lot of if women are looking for a provider, would that be like a lot of stress on a guy?
Yeah.
And I wonder if
it's I do think about this often. It seems ironic that a lot of times, a lot of what women were marching about in the 19th and 60s and 70s was for women's rights to work. And now that we are working, a lot of them, or I do know peers and colleagues who say, like, I don't want to work, I want to be a tai-tai, I don't want to. It seems very regressive. Like, this was exactly the same thing that like our mothers and our grandmothers were fighting about, and now that we have the autonomy to actually find a job, we're saying that we don't want it and we want to go back.
And they rather have like a provider.
They'd rather be trad wife again.
That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah.
It kind of like
that may not
we're
be
back to square
the
one.
Best idea of privilege. I guess it's it's the what's the opposite of privilege?
Disadvantage.
Yeah, it's disadvantage. But no, I guess maybe if we're sticking to a very like a physical attractiveness standpoint, maybe I guess maybe.
You said entitled. What exactly are Singaporean women entitled about?
I think
that men being providers.
There's a lot of expectation.
Bringing in a lot.
There's a lot of expectations on what they look for in a partner. I mean, he's gotta be tall. He's gotta be educated. He's gotta have a decent salary at least. If you're not decent, I've met more than 3 people in the last 1 year who've told me that a major deal breaker in their relationship is how much the guy earns. It's fair. I think if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, I think it's you're entitled to have that. But it's hard. It's a very high bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's I wonder where that came from. I wonder where that expectation came from.
Yeah. I think it definitely doesn't help that Singapore is a place that puts capital above many things, and that money really talks in this city.
It really does.
In a sense of, if you have money, you can solve problems. If you have money, you can get connections. If you have money, you can solve logistical issues like being able to afford to stay in a landed property in Bukit Timah versus a 2-room flat in Punggol or something.
I wonder, because I guess maybe in order to have a comfortable life in Singapore, perhaps it's because of our the Chinese community's competitive nature. It is often reflected in the dating scene too. It's like, would you want to bring home a Malay guy who is jobless? He's not jobless, but he has a job.
A Grab driver.
He's a Grab driver. Would you want to bring that home to your parents? Like, that's something that you want to... Or an Indian guy who's selling records, vinyl shop person. It's it's not a credible job. They want the... I still think status talks.
Yeah. Status is tied very much to your job, to your profession.
Yeah. I mean...
But I guess that's a good point, because we're saying that how much you earn is directly related to what you can do here in Singapore.
Yeah.
Your income has a material reality. And your material reality is shaped by very concrete things like housing, where you can dine, how easy you can get around. Because if you have a car, it's very easy. If you don't...
Oh, speaking of cars.
You have to take public transport. We have great public transport system, but also, if you're used to driving around in a BYD or like a Lexus, why would you take the bus?
Do you know another sort of deal breaker for a lot of Singaporean girls? Guy has to come in the car to pick them up, If you don't come in a car, you're taking public transport to the venue. It's like...
Wait, did they specify the car can be a Grab?
They did not specify if the car can be a Grab or not, or it even has to be your car or whatever car, but it's generally seen in Singaporean female circles that it's nice to have a car to pick you up in. It's a plus point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say, gotta be real, do I really want to pick you up in my parents' car? It's
a no for you.
No, okay. I think for me, I want to live within my means. I want to be able to date someone within my means. If I'm having to drive my parents' car around just to pick her up everywhere, that's not within my means. I want to, because eventually I'm gonna move out with you, and I'm not gonna have my parents' car.
Right.
So you gotta be real. Yeah. So I'm just saying, even if I can, I'm not, because it's not my. It's paise, for me to be.
Mom, can I borrow your car?
Yeah, mom. Because I'm gonna be showing up in a freaking Mercedes, that's she'll be like, oh wow, you can afford that. No, it's my mom's car. But it's come on, yeah. Anyway,
do you worry about that reality of not being able to afford what you think is the expectation of what a Singaporean woman wants, given that you're probably going to go down the trajectory of a
That is why-
artist and a composer.
That is why I think the other gender might be a much easier, because I have.
So that's your solution?
No, it's not
Go
a
for
solution.
male.
No.
Gay man.
I'm not saying that that's the solution, but I think generally speaking, in the heterosexual community and the homosexual, like the LGBT, the queer community, I think there is a lot less emphasis in terms of, there's a lot more independence. There's, in terms of like monetary things, financial, material assets, material wealth. People more. I've never really had to have a conversation about this, but more than a lot of times in the heterosexual dating community, it seems to be a bit more forefront. Like what you do for a living matters. I wouldn't say substantially more, but it is definitely forefront.
Yeah.
Whereas in the non-heterosexual communities, I think people don't give a shit.
I guess
They don't care.
That's inherent in the meaning of queer.
Yeah.
The idea that
There's
you
no
are-
role.
and
Yeah.
there's no fixed whatever, fixed identity,
Exactly.
fixed orientation, fixed answer,
Yeah,
fixed
there's
way.
no, like if you're a guy and a guy, like you don't need to fight over who's going to be the provider.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean like
what's-
queer as being at odds with what is.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why these questions of like, what do you do? I hate answering those questions.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to know what I do? Like, why don't you want to know what it means for me to feel alive?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yes, that's a lot better question for me as an
Right.
artist. I would ask those things, but I don't know. I think a lot of Singaporeans. I mean, if we're
Are
talking
very
about the
square.
Singapore, they're practical.
Yeah.
They see marriage as a practicality, but
I mean,
well,
it does
I'm
get
a
you a
I'm a
BTO.
I'm a artist.
You're romantic.
So yeah, I think I'm very sentimental. I'm very, very sentimental. So I don't really think in practicalities when I date people.
Right.
I mean, if it's gonna cost me like to be like broke or something like that, that might be a problem. But like, I don't think
It's just like Michelin star restaurant only.
Exactly. But it's not at the forefront.
Okay. Interracial relationships can be a form of racial status seeking, a personhood by proxy. Do you feel like this is the burden of Chinese male privilege?
Wait, say that again. Racial status seeking.
Yeah, so racial status seeking, like a lot of maybe like you were saying just now that one of the markers of Chinese male privilege is the money and the SES, the socioeconomic status. Do you think that a non-Chinese would try and date a Chinese male to get in on that SES, to climb the SES ladder, and to, because if they're dating a Chinese male, then it kind of like shrouds them in this halo of like, oh look, I've made it in this society.
Can I subvert this question?
What's your subversion?
And not say a Chinese male, but a non-Chinese male?
Okay.
Think about all our non-Chinese ministers. Think about them. Who are they? Iswaran. Okay, he's not. Okay, he's got no. Okay, the male ministers. Male ministers who are non-Chinese.
Like dead and alive.
Vivian Balakrishnan, one, right?
Yeah.
Dharman.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? Shanmugam. Okay. Oh, okay. Vivian, Chinese wife.
Vivian. Oh, really?
Vivian has a Chinese wife.
Daman
has a Japanese wife, or a Chinese-Japanese half wife. What's the guy? Shanmugam has a Chinese wife. Wait. I need a. Does he have a Chinese wife?
We have to fact check that.
I think he does. He has but I'm sure his wife is not like the same race as him. It's a Southeast Asian race kind of thing. So think about that. And have you ever
basically non-Indians?
Yeah, non-Indians.
Yeah.
So I'm not an Indian, so I don't know if have the authority to speak on this, but
it's a curious pattern,
I think
isn't it?
a lot of Indian men who are very successful
in Singapore.
will instinctively have it's more like more than like it's more than just a majority of the time. It's a very, very noticeable pattern that they always have a non-Indian wife, a Chinese wife or something
Yeah.
like that.
I
And
think, yeah.
What do you think?
I think
Why
that
is
was
that?
what I was trying to get at. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a personhood by proxy.
Yeah.
That, they have these check boxes
Yeah.
to fill, like successful career, all the 5 C's and everything.
Yeah.
And the last stamp on that
That
legitimacy,
Yeah.
like that stamp of legitimacy that
Yeah.
your identity as an Indian man in
Yeah,
Singapore
exactly.
is legitimized is by marrying
it's
a Chinese wife.
exactly. So would a Chinese woman of that same caliber, do you think they would marry an Indian man who was not as successful, who was just probably like an average job worker?
No.
Yeah, probably not. So that's probably the thing. But I think I don't know. It's a certain demographic of female, I think, that goes for that.
High achieving Indian men.
Yeah, there's a certain demographic of female that wants that.
Like specifically Indian.
No, just the high achieving man.
Oh,
in general.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be. They can be like white. They can be Chinese.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I know. I notice it.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
you think yes? I think
that
yes.
I definitely think yes.
That
And I feel like
interracial
I'm-
relationships give you a kind of personhood by proxy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a lived reality. Like we see that.
Yeah, it's
happening in
almost
society.
like you shift into a new SES,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like that person is your card into a new
Yeah,
dimension.
exactly. It's like a shift.
Yeah. Are there any types you wouldn't date and why?
Early types, racial types.
And
I think the categories of types that I wouldn't date would probably be more personality-ish. I don't think I would be so opposed to have like a hard no on any race. I think I'd really be open.
even black.
If the opportunity and if the right person comes along, like if I, see, like if we hit it off, yeah. But I think the hard no's are not so much racial for me, but more for personality. But even then, it would be really hard for me to say like there's no one that I wouldn't want, because people change sometimes.
Yeah.
But hard no's.
Which
I think-
personality trait would you give a hard
I
no to?
think intelligence is something that I really look out for. So sometimes it's hard to see how smart or not the person is.
Yeah.
But I think I just want someone who is able to give me a
Someone who
to
reads
rally-
Kierkegaard.
yeah. I mean, that would be ideal. Someone who reads Nietzsche, who reads Kierkegaard. I mean, that would be great. But you gotta acknowledge that not everyone's there. And I mean, not that they're not good partners. They can be really attractive. They can be physically really attractive. But like, if they're not on a same intellectual wavelength as me, I don't think we would last long. So yeah, so I guess that's a type. Like, I don't mean to be mean, but
No,
like
I hear you. I'm the same.
like stupid people. I mean, it's just, I mean,
But how do you define stupid people? Because
yeah, I know.
Obviously,
Such a
we're very privileged in a sense of being able to
education, right?
to study music composition at was it ACN?
At
RCN.
King's College. Yeah.
At King's College, and that was your master's, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously having been high up in the ivory tower,
Ooh.
I definitely do feel similar to you that there's a very genuine frustration that I feel towards people who don't get what I'm saying or don't really understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And then having to explain to them certain things makes me feel like I'm the stupid one in the end. So I totally know how you feel. But having worked in very academic spaces as well, like in NYU Shanghai and NTU CCA in Singapore, what I realized is that you could be book smart and not smart in other things, or you can be street smart and not book smart and still be very smart. You know what I mean? I think about
Emotional intelligence was what
yeah, but I also think about, if you think about people like Rihanna or A$AP Rocky, a lot of them right now they're like millionaires or even billionaires, and they're so successful in life and their careers, but they started off in very disadvantaged social backgrounds and they literally just grinded their way to the top. So there's a smartness in that. There's a smartness that doesn't come with being born off the ivory tower or having read Kierkegaard or Nietzsche or Karl Marx, for example. So what exactly, or how do you define stupidity, and how do you define stupidity? When you say stupid people, what exactly is stupid about it?
I would be so hypocritical if I say that I was the smartest person, because I do acknowledge that I'm not like the smartest person. I think just because I've read a book or two and I cannot even recall the freaking name of the philosopher does not make me smart. I think someone who at least can have a good conversation with the things that I like to talk about. I think it's more about someone that will make you grow as a person, intellectually and emotionally. That is the most important thing. If that person does not make you grow, like for example, if you have to keep explaining stuff to them, you're not growing intellectually.
Yeah.
They're growing intellectually, but you're not. So someone that has to at least match you, and they have to make you see your own flaws emotionally too. Yeah. So I think that's the most important thing. So I think maybe now that I think about it, it may not be an intelligence thing per se, because I don't also necessarily want the smartest person ever. Like, he might be a freaking nerd and like
Albert
Einstein, like shit ass like romantic life. I don't know. He might be awkward.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I think someone that makes you grow, I think that's the right word.
Do you think we can learn to find people who we wouldn't typically find attractive in that sense?
I think people can grow on you, I guess.
I agree.
I think they can. And I guess they always say that physical beauty is ephemeral, but having a really strong spiritual connection with the person is more important. So it's hard, but I feel like it's possible. I feel like it is possible. Yeah. For me, it's I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I said that I think so, because I feel like this is me being really honest. So if a really attractive okay, let's say I'm talking to a girl and I've been talking to her for a while, and she may not be the most my type, maybe just an average looking girl, like she's not a 10 or she's just a 5, but we hit it off really well, but along comes like an 8 or 9, like really my type. I feel almost ashamed to say this, but it's true. I feel like my attention would be diverted.
Maybe momentarily.
Maybe. But the problem is the consistency, right? So you suddenly you divert their attention into this new girl, and then you find out that she's not really maybe your type. Then you go back to the one that, like, the relationship's soured.
Yeah.
So I've been in that experience before. And it's not a nice experience, but like you always, it feels bad because you've relegated that person that you're talking to a second option, to an option, and when you come back to that option, it's like it feels bad. Like so
it feels like you've committed a sin.
Yeah, but you realize that maybe that might have been a better option. So it's
a bargain.
Yeah.
Right. As a bisexual, how innate are our preferences really?
How innate, huh?
Can we habituate our tastes?
I think we can. So, when I first started, you can decide whether you want to have this on or off. But when I first started experimenting with my bisexual side, the first encounter was with a white guy. So for a long period of time, I thought I was into white guys.
That's the allure of white.
I think it was simply because I was in London, and so
your environment was white, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was my thing.
Yeah.
But I realized it was not.
Right.
So in a way, it's not habituating, but in my case, it was realizing that maybe what I'm more attracted to was something that was Asian. Yeah. But that being said, I did try. I need to know. You need to try to know.
The white to let you know what your true preference was.
Yeah. To talk about it.
It's funny you should mention that because your answers to the pre-interview questions were fascinating.
Okay.
I asked the question if race is just a preference, just like height is a preference. And you were pretty neutral about it because on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being completely disagree and 5 being completely agree, you gave a 3 out of 5. So philosopher Robin Cheng, she argues that in our racially structured world, racial features are never just neutral physical traits. They come loaded with cultural stereotypes, historical baggage, and expectations about how one should act. Do you feel that a race-based preference is simply aesthetic, or is there something else that's always bundled with it?
I think it's the thing you see first, though. If you look at a person without knowing where they're from, I think a really good example is an Asian American and an Asian Chinese, a person from China, a Chinese person, and a Chinese American. They look the same, but they are totally different people. Right? Do you get
culturally?
Me? Yeah, culturally they are totally like I feel like it's.
What's the overlap?
They couldn't, if you put a guy that was born in China, and he had no access to like anything outside of China, and a guy who was an Asian American guy who was just born and raised and never gone outside the States. You put them together, I don't think the only thing they'll have in common is I like Chinese food. It's probably because their mom, like the Asian American guy's mom made Chinese food, but like they couldn't have a conversation. They really could. It's like there's so much, and I mean like I have a lot of Asian American friends, so like they're great people, but there's something about them that is like, they're so American, you know.
Yeah.
They are very American.
They're Americanized.
They are very Americanized. And like
what
I feel
does that mean?
I would be almost hypocrite to say I'm not that Americanized. I feel like I'm quite Americanized, but
what does it mean to be for an Asian to be Americanized?
I think it's the values, man. It's the values that they hold. It's a lifestyle. It's
specifically partying a lot.
It's such a cliche thing to say, but like freedom. Like I don't know, they value freedom, and I don't know. Is there something that makes one Asian American? Is there something that makes someone American?
One thing I know the older generations of traditional Chinese elders think about Western ideals is definitely also freedom. And they always say that they always equate freedom with partying and doing whatever you want and breaking the rules and having a disregard for authority. When you say that Americanized, do you feel like they embody these character traits?
I think some of the Asian Americans, they're still quite grounded.
Okay.
They're quite grounded with their culture because maybe they're like a second generation American or third, they have grandparents that live with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as like we get the third or fourth generation, you see there's more emphasis on that freedom, that partying,
Right.
I
Right.
don't know, that
So if-
autonomy. I
Yeah,
guess.
so if race is not that much of an issue compared to culture to you, would it be more comfortable to date, let's say, a Singaporean Indian versus like an Asian born Chinese, American born Chinese person?
So I've actually tried that.
Which one?
I've tried
Both?
I've tried dating an Singaporean Indian. I have attempted to date American Asians as well, American Chinese people.
What's the biggest difference?
I'm kind of caught in the middle because I'm very Americanized for my own good, but I'm also like I have an affinity towards Singaporeans. So naturally, if you ask me, I feel like I would definitely gravitate to Asians. Like
But they are Asians.
a physical preference of mine. I think I prefer people that they look not too distant from me, like racially, ethnically.
So you'll never date black?
I've not. Okay, you mentioned black. It's the only race that I have not dated, and I guess it's the furthest away, But I've tried, I've gone out with people. I've gone out with.
You've went on dates with black
I've
people?
went off. No. I've not went on. That black people, unfortunately, are the only race that I've not been able to
that you haven't
experience.
had exposure to?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's
They're few and far between in this part of the world. I mean, in Singapore at least.
even when I was in London,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I had black friends, but I don't know if I would date. No, it did not cross my mind. It was not something that consciously crossed my mind. And I guess it's also circles, like social circles also matter.
Yeah.
In the kind of people that you meet. So I guess people generally they usually hang around circles that are their own. Like
Chinese people do that too
I guess
whenever they're overseas, right?
I have a thought experiment though.
Yeah.
So you wanna say? Yeah. It's
please.
so I wonder what would happen. I'm sure this has happened somewhere before, by the way. I'm pretty sure like somewhere someone on a lost ship has done this, stranded on some island. So what if I put a Chinese person, like he got shipwrecked on the coast of
Where's this
Madagascar
going?
or something like
Yeah.
that. So and
And
if he had to,
move it.
he's like a strong fertile age, like 30, robust male, and he's surrounded by African communities. No Chinese person, no other race. Like I wonder if he'll just
just breed.
get like.
What do you mean?
I wonder if race or ethnicity would ever be like a stumbling block.
If your survival, if your instinct to
Yeah. So let's say he was shipwrecked
would
there.
override
Yeah, and there was
mutual
no way of
preferences.
leaving. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if he had no way, so
absolutely.
eventually, if like a year goes by and he's like,
You
you know
just
what?
repopulate the whole
Yeah. So I
island
wonder. That's a thought
with
experiment. Like,
Malaysian babies.
exactly. Right. Is that like? I think the environment you're in really affects. Like if you're spending so much time around black people, white people, you might or might not find that attractive. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a thought. I don't know what the answer.
So do you
was.
feel like, okay, you lived in London, you lived in Singapore. Singapore is so multicultural. We have like, of course, majority Chinese, but
Yep.
we also have like Malay, Indians, Eurasians.
I see where you're going.
So when you say that you have a type and that your type is someone like you, do you mean specifically someone Singaporean, or do you mean specifically Singaporean-Chinese male?
Singaporean, oh, male. Male and female.
Singaporean,
Singaporean male,
Chinese?
Singaporean Chinese male. I mean, it's the most
Ubiquitous.
instinctive category that I would gravitate towards.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Well, we are creatures of habit.
yeah.
From the point of view of male and female gaze, what is the social media ideal according to you?
What's popular on social media, I'll tell you, this guy that's shirtless. He always has to have like a face card, and I'm gonna say, like, if you're young, you're gonna have an advantage.
Of course.
Yeah. If you're
Although
young.
there are zaddies.
Yeah, there is but the most popular is guy in his 20s, works out, and at least from what I consume in social media.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I just feel like social media, the target audience is that demographic anyway.
Yeah, it's always, I don't know, for me, my feed, it's always some East Asian looking guy. And it's an East Asian looking guy. Even if the guy was not from a country in East Asia, but he looks East Asian, that's okay. Like they have to look that certain look.
Right.
Like,
What kind of social media are you on? TikTok?
oh guys, Jesus, where do I start? I think what guys like in a guy and what girls like in a guy is very different.
Absolutely.
And same thing for what girls like in a girl and what guys like in a girl.
Yeah.
It's so different. So I don't know. It's I think there's niches in terms of the social media what do you call that? Categories of what is like super attractive. For me, I think I like I wanna say
Is it politically incorrect to say? Is that why you're struggling with it?
no, I'm just gonna be straight up.
Yeah.
I like ABGs, but the way they look.
Okay.
Yeah, I like ABGs only from if they did not open their mouth.
But the minute they open their mouth,
The minute they open
2
their
out of
mouth,
10.
no, exactly. But I like artsy people. So if you ask me, I think my type is not gonna be the typical archetypical attractive kind of female.
But ABGs are a very archetype.
I think emotionally.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
So physically, you have
if they look like
archetype.
ABGs, but
emotionally, the furthest thing away from that.
furthest thing away from that. I want someone who listens to good music, who reads, and
Reading is so
like you
rare
cannot
nowadays.
tell anything from a person from social media. Like I wrote a poem recently about this,
Yeah.
and it's like you cannot tell anything about what a person is like from their curated Instagram page. There's nothing. You can get an idea, but you won't know. Yeah, so it's hard, but yeah.
Do you think from the male gaze, as in your gaze, do you think that for men the social media ideal is the gym bro?
For men to let like other men.
Yeah, or in general. Gym bro and a broccoli haircut.
Not the broccoli haircut. I think I'm gonna be honest though. I think it is almost universally agreed in a very. It's not. We did not come together and have a gay coalition and say, oh, the best guy looking. But it's almost universal that men like good bodies.
Only men like good bodies?
I mean, but like men that like other men. It's a. I have not met one guy who's ever said that.
They like a fatty.
Like,
they like a dad
that
bod.
they do not care about how. I mean, it is really rare. I have not met someone who says that I want someone who does not care about his body. Like I don't care if he doesn't care about his body.
Because with women, they like a dad bod.
Do they?
Yeah, it's a type.
I think it might be.
And they like teddy bear. Because they like the teddy bear aesthetic, where if he's like soft and fluffy and he has a belly, some women don't mind that. Some women actually prefer that because they feel it's very paternal. So male on male, do you think that there is a group of people who go for that type of body type?
There might be a niche, like they call them like what, the bears or something like that. Like,
okay.
Is it bears or otters? No, I actually do not know the terminology. Otters. But I do not know the terminology actually. It's a bit. But I'm pretty sure that there are niches, but they're not the main things that are popular on social media.
You said that race doesn't matter as much as culture. And you also said that physically you're drawn to people that have well-built bodies. And like the ABG goes to the gym, right? And with the men on TikTok that have been appearing on your TikTok, they're also very fit people. The fit aesthetic. So acknowledging that you have a type, how much does race play a role in your decision-making process when deciding who to date?
Okay, I'm gonna correct that statement and say that I think it's really difficult to say that race is more or less important than culture, because I think for me, when I meet someone new, I think, or be it on a dating app or in person, I think the first thing that I'm instinctively drawn to when I see them is, or what I find attractive is obviously the race. I think it's the main initial pull factor, not so much of the culture, because it's really difficult to tell about what their cultural background is like. So the first thing instinctively is the race. So if I'm at a bar, right, and if I'm like looking out for someone who's hot, like who I want to hit up, it is instinctively the race, the physical appearance of the person, and generally that would be the races or ethnicities or looks that I'm more attuned to, be it because of social media or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that being said, why I said that cultural compatibility is still more important, it goes back to like the Asian American versus like the Chinese kind of thing. So if I do find them really attractive and I really want to date them, the culture would then matter much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say.
So, but it's like barriers that like levels of seriousness, you know.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So I don't want to make it sound so crass. I really don't want to make this sound so crass, but like for example, level 1, right, is when you see them at the bar or you see them on a dating app or something, they look hot to you. I don't need to. If level 1 is just like, you know, casual, keeping it casual. You know, you don't have to get to know them. I mean, you do have to get to know them to some degree to see what they're like, whether they're like casually compatible with you. I don't want to use like other terminology, but like if it's just casual, you know. But if you actually want to date like properly, you want to get to know them, that's level 2, and that's where the cultural part comes in. So I feel like that's the second. There's probably a third level, but
what's the third level, Ben?
Spirituality, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. So culture.
I thought we were gonna say like dick size or something.
Oh no, that's like number 1. No, but like I feel
Whoa, you're going there already? At level one?
ironically, once you reach level 3, number 1 doesn't matter. Like once you reach, like it's a very ironic situation. By the time you get to know someone on a spiritual level,
Everything else doesn't
you've
matter.
already probably known them for long enough and they're so ingrained in your life that it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like you can have like shit ass sex or shit ass like you are already like spiritually connected. But it's an irony because I think this guy you might have to fact check me on this. Sorensen.
Sorensen Kierkegaard?
Kierkegaard, yeah. Is it
Kierkegaard, yeah.
What's is it? Yeah,
Sorensen Kierkegaard, the
yeah.
philosopher, Swedish philosopher.
Yeah,
or
Danish.
Danish.
He said something about the levels of love or something like that, the levels of emotional attraction. So the third level is something like spiritual, and the middle level is something like emotional. Also, it's I might be pulling this out my ass, but you might have to fact check this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like that. It's different levels of like metrics of attraction for different levels of seriousness. It sounds so crass, but like I don't like, I know love is not something, attraction is not something you can like categorize, but that's how I see it. You know?
Yeah, I feel like at least what you're saying is that physical characteristics or the way someone appears physically is the gateway to maybe getting to know them, and then once you get to know them, especially in depth to the spiritual level, then getting to see them or witness them in that dimension slowly minimizes the importance of the physical.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
But do you often reach level 3 with many?
There's only 2 people that I've ever done that with my life, I think.
Yeah. And how does that process feel? Is it a very destabilizing process to witness to be able to see through someone so transparently and so deeply?
I think it was being super vulnerable. Yeah. And before we got to that stage, I think we did a lot before that. So
including the shit ass sex.
Whatever, you know. Yeah, and I think all the stages that happened, like his physical intimacy, everything that happened before. But I think it's not like it was a consciously that I said, okay, finally I'm at stage 3. It's more of like we worked. It was so organic. It was such a gradual process that eventually I found myself understanding this person spiritually. Yeah.
Were you able to get that same feeling of feeling spiritually understood by this person in return?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it also doesn't help that they were also both people that were fundamentally very my type on a physical level.
Scale.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was kind of like all the criteria being matched.
Yeah.
Physically and then spiritually as well.
Yeah.
That's quite rare.
It was. It really was.
Yeah,
it was.
I see.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tall order.
If I were to name a composer that I think I would be in love with, like I think the one that I would be so like fall hard for is Tchaikovsky.
Oh,
he
what?
and me are so alike. We are so alike.
That is so surprising. Why Tchaikovsky?
First of all, he's a fruit.
Oh, he's queer.
Did you not know?
I did not know that.
Oh, he went around, you know. No, I mean, I love Tchaikovsky so much that I read his diaries and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that about you.
Because he was the first composer that spoke to me.
I remember you saying that if you were to introduce classical music to a beginner,
he spoke to me.
Yeah,
he was the first one that made
recommend
me
Tchaikovsky.
I feel like his personalities and mine, we align so well.
Right. What did he say in his diaries
He's
that caught you?
I don't know. He had trysts with different guys, I think.
All composers, or
I don't know, just people that he wrote music for. I think I would do that. No, I think that's my personality. He seems to be
totally see
spontaneous
that.
as well,
I
but
totally see that.
he's gentle. He's shy. He's a very shy person. He's 好诗文, you know, like what's the word for 诗文? Elegant?
No, more like
He's refined.
yeah, refined, and there's a bit of soft-heartedness.
Yeah. 温柔跟soft
like
and
graceful.
Yeah. 他好温柔，他好诗文.
Oh, you like
So
温柔
this
and
is
诗文.
yeah. I think that's, and I could, you know, I don't care if he's white. You know, like I think that's something.
Well, Russians also are a little bit different kind of white.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I think that kind of personality I would.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, a Tchaikovsky. Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, it's
His intellect will definitely match yours.
Yeah.
You definitely can learn from him.
and I feel we'll have good physical chemistry too. Physical
I
chemistry.
believe that.
I think so.
I think you'll be making more than music together.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
Okay, as someone who has met someone who fits all your criteria, on top of the fact that you're bisexual, do you think that there is any marginalization you experience in both heterosexual and queer circles?
Marginalisation.
Yeah, do you feel judged for having met someone who, because once you met someone who ticked all your boxes, your expectation, your bar is really high. And for you, on top of that, you're bisexual, which amongst the queer community, some people have said that bisexuals just want their cake and eat it too. Like because they swing both ways, they can date a lot of people. They can spoil the market for some other people.
Well, personally, I feel in the last couple of months, I have come to realize that I know I'm not really answering your question on this, but I'm going to say sexual liberation is overrated.
Okay.
I come to realize that.
So you love monogamy?
No, I think
We should just go back to being sexually owned by other people.
Because I've already had something with someone who is absolutely my type. It's so hard to find someone who is again. So I actually realized that I value the spiritual connections, the higher order, like the things I was talking about,
Yeah.
a lot more than I used to. So now a hot one comes along, or this hot one comes along, I think to myself, am I gonna just like him or her, or is it just like, do I want something? I want that. I'm craving that oxytocin.
Yes.
I crave that oxytocin that comes from really missing people.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that because sexual liberation implies that just go around. Like, I'm not saying they should sleep around with people, but just go around, be open. Like, don't you can just have sexual fun. But to me, I feel like it's not fulfilling anymore, because I think I've already done that, and I crave that oxytocin.
Yeah. Like once in your life you have to be a whole.
Yeah.
And once that period is over and done with, then you're kind of on to
I've come to realize
deeper
that
things.
Yeah. I've come to realize that I don't need to have the super hots for someone. Like, he or she can be a decent looking person. Yeah.
That desire is so multidimensional.
Yeah.
And goes beyond the physical.
But then again, obviously, right, I deep down inside I have the hope that maybe one day, if an incredibly attractive person, incredibly smart person, incredibly nice intellectual artsy person can talk to me and strike it off, I'd be happy.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still a creature, like I'm still a creature of habit, like we're humans, like we are still driven by very, very primal like desires. Like you look at a hot one, you look at a hot person, I think.
There's two questions. If tomorrow you and another partner of the same gender were walking down the street, what would a Singaporean uncle say? And then the other question is, if you and a non-Chinese person were walking down the street, what would a Singaporean uncle say?
I would say now, less backlash if you were a female but non-Chinese, but more backlash if you were a male and a male, or a female and a female.
Yeah.
But more so for male and male than female. Yeah, I don't think it is a safe space to do it.
Right. So you would feel inhibited.
It is still a safe space to be male and female. Completely, yeah.
Cishet. Okay. So in that sense, right, let's say, or if you only date your like Asians, or you only date blacks, because if you only date Asians you have yellow fever, and you only date blacks you have like jungle fever. So is it important to you at all that your relationship demonstrates an overcoming of racist socialization in that sense?
I think it's about the perception, you know. Like, I think, to be really honest with you, you want my really honest answer?
Of course.
Okay, I don't care. Wait, no, really, no. My really honest.
Don't care.
My really honest answer is I don't care if it does or does not. Like.
Because you don't feel like it's your responsibility.
Yeah, like if like people don't know me. Like they're just judging who I'm dating based on what they see. Okay, at least my friends and everyone, they'll know who I've dated before. They can tell, they can vouch for that. But if I have to prove what I'm dating or whether it's racist or not to a random stranger that just met me, does not know my dating history, does not know what I've been through in my previous life, like fuck them, man. Like sorry, but like fuck them.
Yeah.
Can I allow to say that?
Yeah, of course.
Like, dude, it's just I don't have to date someone just to prove to someone just what I have. Like, if I'm dating I'm a very Chinese person dating a very Chinese person, that's just what it is. If I'm a very Chinese person dating a white person, a very white person, that's what it is. Like, that's where I'm at life. You know, like, if you care to know about me, then you'll know that there's so much more that I've been through in my previous dating experiences. It's just, this is who I'm dating at this point in time. So like, that's the simple answer is, I don't care. Yeah.
So in a post-racial world where race is not a thing anymore, dating someone of a different culture or different race would technically just be value neutral. But because we live in a society that's so racialized, meaning that we sort human beings according to racial categories, and each racial category has its own set of stereotypes. You don't care, meaning that you feel like the burden of dismantling a racist or racially ordered system does not lie with the individual.
I mean, it's, you know, if you happen to love someone that is not your race in a society that has, you know, very strict social norms, then I guess if your life is going to be hard, like for example, if I was a guy and I dated a guy in Singapore, which is we're still quite homophobic in many ways, I think. So if I feel like there would be some prerogative for me to want to make my life easier in some way. I think it's just in our nature, like I would want to make my life easier. So I think it would be fair to say that I would want to, you know, maybe be more vocal about certain things. But I don't think my relationship alone has to prove that, you know. I can speak out, like, I don't even have to be in a particular type of relationship, like a racial or a homosexual or whatever one, to be able to voice my concerns about topics like that, you know. I don't think my relationship has to prove anything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think if it does, then I don't know, I would want to question why I'm in that relationship in the first place again. Maybe could I be in it for the wrong reasons? I don't know. Just my thoughts, yo. I don't think...
I definitely do feel like placing the burden of responsibility on an interracial couple to prove or disprove certain racial biases is definitely very unfair and a very huge burden.
Yeah. It doesn't have to...
It's the wrong place to find a dismantling. A relationship is the wrong place to find dismantling of a system.
Yeah. Relationships just happen.
Yeah.
They don't... yeah. Yeah, they just happen. It's so organic.
Yeah. So do you think diversity in our dating practices is something worth actively pursuing?
I think to speak for the general population or at least maybe some people that I know, I think it would be worthwhile for people in general to be more open-minded. Yeah, I'm not saying you should go out of your way just to find a partner that's not of your race or whatever, but I think don't discount people. I think
just based on their race.
I guess it's a thing in the especially in the queer gay community. I think more so in the gay community is where, from what I hear at least, is that there's a Chinese preference. The Chinese preference is, at least in Singapore, is it can be quite toxic because there's a lot of people who are like Chinese only. They won't want to. I mean, I guess they won't want to engage with anyone other than Chinese. There are people like that exclusively, but excuse me. So I guess that is because it could be a result of hookup circles. Like the hookup culture in the gay scene is quite prevalent. So I guess it boils down to the levels of seriousness, you know, the levels of intent. So if I'm just looking for a really casual hookup, a lot of the Chinese guys who only want Chinese partners, the Chinese guys to hook up with, you know, in a way I can't blame them, because they are really just feeding their carnal desire. I don't know if it's my place to say that, oh, if you're gonna hook up with someone, I really, really encourage you to be hooking up with blacks, because, you know,
that would be objectifying.
Yeah, that would be very, so I feel like in the grand scheme of things, let's just say if the person has a schema that says, okay, I only want to hook up with people of a certain race, but I also discount anyone else from getting to know anyone else as a friend, or as more in, you know, romantic way or even a spiritual way, then that would be a bit like, you know, you are essentially, I don't know if I want to say it's racist, but like you're really discounting a lot of humanity. And
your own.
I think and I think that's a little unhealthy for relationship, because I think you can also, you'll be discounting too much. But I don't know if I can blame people who say that they're okay just having casual hookups with people who are, you know, of a certain race, because it really, to them, maybe it just might be a one-off thing, and there's this, it's all about seriousness, you know. Who am I to say, right? Who am I to judge, right? What do you think?
I think what you're saying is that diversity is worth
understanding.
We're understanding and maybe incorporating into your dating practices, but we shouldn't pursue someone just in the name of diversity. Like, we can't just be dating blacks because they are black, and then we want to like pursue diversity in that sense.
I think
that would be too pointed and too disrespectful in some sense also. But you're saying that we shouldn't, just because on the basis of race and culture, just discount someone just because we think that they're just non-Chinese or not the same race as us, and we completely dismiss them because of that. That's not right. Is that what you're saying?
I think what my point is to sum it up is, don't be superficial. I mean, it's hard to not be superficial. When you really, I think, don't be superficial when you want to get to know someone. I think that's the crux of it all.
Yeah.
Like, and it's actually a lot harder than it seems. Like, I think a lot of people, like we myself included, we claim to be like, oh, you know, I'm not so superficial. When I'm looking for a partner, I always want to, you know, I want to find out about the intangible aspects of their life and everything. It's like, yeah, you know, that's what you say, but at the end of the day, when you're encountered with someone who catches your eye again, like, the male gaze comes back in, and like, it's like
carnal desires.
So it's a lot harder than it seems. It's easier said than done, basically. Like, it's really easy for me to just say, like, don't be superficial, but
to practice it is a different thing.
I think it's like, I don't want to open a new can of worms here, but if we want to go down that route, do we have the time? But
yeah, sure.
It's like pedophiles.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar, but, you know, they're attracted to young people, but you can't, you know, so they have to control themselves. So in some way, I think there is an element of that we have to look past sometimes. Yeah, there's an element of that we have to look past. Like, going against our carnal desires sometimes may be better for us
and beneficial for society at large.
I'm not sure what that entails about being better for society at large.
Like, in the sense of, in the case of pedophilia.
Yeah, exactly. In the case of pedophilia, for sure.
Yeah.
But like in general, for the average person, you know, sometimes I think it's like a balance of both. You know, it's like you meet someone who you really know that shit, he or she is the right person for me. Emotionally, personality-wise, you may not look like the best person. But can I make that compromise? You know, can I? Sometimes, you know, I'll just have to, you know, settle for someone who may not necessarily be what I want. And like, it boils down to questions like, you know, do I want to settle with this person? Or if not, I don't have to. I can just keep looking, and like, you know, that search may never end. So it's like, it's more like, what is the trigger, or what is the factor that makes you say, yes, I want to settle down with this person?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I feel it's not a race thing. It's always more than anything. It's more like it's a vibe thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so sometimes we just have to, you know, go against the carnal desire.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For the greater good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you desire for yourself and for the world?
True love. Yeah. What do I want for the world? In general, world peace, I guess. And that's like, it's so cliche, right? World
No,
peace.
it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
World peace benefits everyone.
Yeah. I think I think if you ask the nerd in me, I would say ideally I would want borderless romantic love. Borderless, cultureless, ethnicless. Does that make sense? Yeah, love that transcends borders, race and cultures.
Like figuratively or literally?
Oh, I feel like borders, literally, are also a huge stumbling block. Yeah. I've met.
So we can't
Way
have
too many-
borderless love if we don't have teleport, right?
Yeah, I know, that's the truth. But I've met way too many people on my travels that I feel like I want to get to know them better. But I do not have the opportunity to.
I know, but maybe that's for the better, don't you think? Maybe there's a reason why it's not like that.
I just hope that in the world, people can love what they want, who they want.
Yeah.
Like they can pursue whoever they want and not be judged about it.
Or not have any
Yeah.
real world obstacles like borders,
Yeah.
visas, geography.
I think the nature of things, like I'm a believer in, there is a word for this, like a natural order of things, where I believe that if you put humans, a whole bunch of us, into a borderless kind of situation,
Pangea. Throwback to Pangea.
I think there will be order in that. We will find some sort of order. So there's a lot of people who believe that, we should, stop, homosexuality. We should stop this and should stop. I don't think so. I think there is a natural order that we will fall to. I'm a believer of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what is your favorite D word?
Destiny. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Destiny.
And that's it, everyone. That's a wrap. My friend Benjamin Sim. Don't forget to check out his music on Spotify. Are you on SoundCloud?
I am on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. What's your handle?
I'm on Spotify actually.
Spotify.
I'm on
and
Spotify,
SoundCloud.
Apple Music, everywhere.
Okay, what's your handle?
YouTube.
How do
My artist name is Benji. Benji.
BNJI. Catch his music on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music,
And YouTube.
and YouTube. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
you.
Yeah.